Good afternoon, all of you. Thank you so much for meeting me here. I want to talk to you today and hopefully encourage you today in an area where I sense a lot of us are struggling, and it's in trusting the Lord and walking with the Lord for so many years in my own life. I just thought that I would be at a place where I was having this conversation with the Lord, and I said, Lord, I just thought, this was going to be a little bit easier in this particular situation, and I still feel like, I'm struggling. And the Lord said, why? Because you want to get to a place where you don't have to trust me in that. And it really just pierced my heart. But, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for his voice in everything you do, and everywhere you go, he's the one who will keep you on track. And I know that's a challenge for most of us. For me, I like to analyze things. I like to plan, and this is going to happen, and if A, then B, and I like to fill in the blanks. And so this is a place in my faith walk that I hit a brick wall at times. But, as I'm walking with the Lord, I'm realizing that, God often delivers us and meets our needs, my needs and your needs in ways that we don't expect. And because of that, I've discovered that one of the worst things we can do when we're facing challenging and difficult situations and adversity is really to try to figure out how the Lord might solve that problem. The fact is that trying to figure out things on our own usually leads us to more confusion and a lot of times frustration. And a lot of times I'm noticing it leads to a host of mental and emotional, sometimes even physical problems. And so the last thing we need when we're in a trial is to fret ourselves into new and bigger problems that we already have. And the Lord is absolutely aware of this, and he gives us words of reassurance and encouragement all throughout his word. I love Isaiah 55, where it says, and the Lord has said this to me so many times, Anne-Marie, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And I have to remind myself that continuously. And this is just a really sweet way of God saying that, your mind is just really no match for mine. And, we shouldn't even try to figure out how he's going to work. His ways are mysterious. And what he'll do on our behalf because he loves us so much. But that's what most of us do. And really what God is asking you and me today is to surrender and to trust him with your needs and your problems. His word says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's the amplified version. Don't depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will direct your paths. And so trusting God is clearly the antidote for trying to figure out the solutions to our problems. And so how can we tell if we're really walking and trusting in the Lord in a certain area? Well, I believe that we'll know it because we're going to have an unmistakable, unshakable sense of peace deep inside of us. And Romans 15:13 says there's peace in believing. And Hebrews 4:3 says it's only those who believe who shall enter God's rest. And I think about King David talking about when God parted the Red Sea in Psalm 77. He says your road led by a pathway through the sea, a pathway no one knew was there. In other words, no one could have expected the Lord to deliver the Israelites and his people the way he did that day. And and as they faced what I'm sure they considered their doom, certain doom. And no matter how big our problems are today and the mountains that you're facing and the needs that you have, I want to encourage you that God has perfect plans for your deliverance and your provision. And always keep this in mind. Big problems put us in perfect position to receive big answers from our God. In Psalm 112, 1-2, I hope you know this one very well. It says, where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Notice that King David answers the question of where his help comes from, only with who it comes from. All he needs to know and be assured is that his help is going to come from God. He doesn't need to know the details of his deliverance. And we really need to adapt that same attitude. So I encourage you, if you have a pressing need today, Say it out loud. Lord, I'm putting this in your hands. Lord, I'm choosing to trust you in this situation. And rest assured that when you do, his help is on the way. You know, I was thinking about a song I was listening on the way in my car today. It was Mandisa's Overcomer, and she says, "You're an overcomer. Stay in the fight till the final round. You are not going under because your God is holding you right now. You might be down for a moment, feeling like it's hopeless, but that's when he reminds you, and I want to remind you that you're an overcomer, and you're an overcomer when you put your trust in the Most High God. And so I'm praying for you today. I want you to know that, and I'm praying that the Lord is teaching you how to have a trusting heart with all that you're facing. And I want to remind you that he is going to help you and that it is his will to help you. And I'm praying that you will surrender and that you cast all your concerns and anxieties on him today and walk in perfect peace and watch as he moves mightily on your behalf. I pray this over you in Jesus' name. I love you. I'm praying for you. I'll see you soon.